This is Chapter 6, video lecture number 4. It's the last video for the chapter as we do a quick discussion on the trend and the size of ions. So open up to this page. And when we talk about ionic size, we're talking about the size of an ion. The atoms of metals have low ionization energy. So you don't need a lot of energy to remove an electron. They form positive ions easily. The atoms of nonmetals have high ionization energy. It takes a lot of energy to remove an electron because they have a high electronegativity, which means they hold on to their electrons really, really hard. So much so that they can attract the electron of a neighboring atom. They form negative ions because of this. So how does this affect the size of an ion? Positive ions are called cat ions, not cations, like in rations. The positive ions are always smaller than the atom from which they form. Negative ions are called anions, not anions like in onions, and they are always larger than the atom from which they form. So cross off this at the bottom. We don't need that. And we see that a sodium atom, when it turns into a sodium ion, gets smaller. A chlorine atom, which is a nonmetal, when it turns into a chloride ion, gets larger. And that's the trend we have to know. A cation is smaller than the atom from which it came, and an anion is larger than the atom from which it came. So now we can look at the trends of ions. Ionic size generally increases as you go down a group. It's the exact same thing that happens to the size of atoms. Ionic size generally decreases as you go across a period. So if we look at our periodic table for the sizes of ions, we see we get larger as we go down, and we get smaller as we go to the right. So we skip ahead, and we go past ionization energy, which we discussed and you have to know, including the trends. We go past electronegativity, which we discussed, which is a trend you have to know. You have to know fluorine is the most active nonmetal, and cesium or francium is the most active metal. And then we get to our page of trends, and we see that as we go across a period to the right, we increase in ionization energy, we increase in electronegativity. Those two trends are always the same. We get smaller in size, and as we head towards the nonmetal side, we have an increase in nonmetallic character and a decrease in metallic character. We also want to write, as we go to the right, there is an increasing nuclear charge. Nuclear charge is the charge of the nucleus, and as you go to the right, the number of protons in the nucleus increases. As we go down a group, we decrease in ionization energy, and we decrease in electronegativity as the size of the atom increases. As we go towards the bottom, we become more metallic, and then we want to write in increasing nuclear charge. So as you go down a group, the number of protons in the nucleus increases, so your nuclear charge increases. And that takes care of this video lecture. We'll have have 1 or 2 days to finish up the worksheets and review, and then we have our tests coming up. So have a great rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in class.